Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you some fantastic Screen the Screener Horns basketball plays. So hello everyone, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training. If you're new to this channel, on this channel I show you basketball plays, drills, and skills. So if you like that stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. But anyways, today I'm going to give you some Screen the Screener Horns basketball plays. Now Screen the Screener is basically, very simply, when a player is screening another player who is then going to be screening the player who has the ball. So let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check these out. If you would like, also, if you want a fantastic defense, go check out the link in the description, the Unbeatable Basketball Defense book. It's really great. A lot of coaches are loving that book. Anyways, let's get down to this basketball play. Okay, so first in this play, it's very simple. You've probably seen this before, and you've probably used this before because it's so simple. We're going to have the post player screening down for the wing defenders, and then they're both going to be coming up. Whichever side player one has his fist up on, that's the side where that wing player is going to go up and set a screen, while the other player is going to be just popping up towards that free throw line extended. The idea behind this is we have a few different options. So once this screen is finished, player 4 is going to be going out, player 5 is going to be popping out, and now player 1 is going to be using that screen, and player 3 is going to be rolling towards the basket. Now the idea behind this is if everyone did clear out of the key, and he was able to make that clear, easy, wide open spot layup, then what you're looking at is a simple, easy layup. However, if the defense is collapsing, his defender fought through that screen, he collapsed, everyone's collapsing, we can then have a pass over to player 2 who could take that shot, and then if a player runs out to try and defend him, he can make that extra pass to player 5 who is then cutting to either able to shoot or cutting towards the rim. Now, if his defender is running out at full steam, if he's smart and he's able to see that, he can then cut and leave basically his defender behind him, and then he can get that basically a lob pass down to him for that layup. So there's quite a few different options here depending on what the defense is doing. Now I did put this up against a man-to-man defense, and this also does work against a 2-3 zone really well as well. Now let's go up against a 2-3 zone. Most likely this is what a 2-3 zone is going to look like. They're going to be trapping up top. Player 4 and 3 are going to be popping up a bit, and player 5 is going to be playing a bit lower. Or he could be playing a bit higher, and those wing players could be playing lower. It depends. But personally, on defense, if I was the coach, I'd be having the wing players play a bit higher and player 5 playing lower. Now, from here, what we're going to have is player 5. He is going to go and set a screen for player 2. Player 1 is then going to use that screen, and player 5 is going to roll off. Now, he could be open for that layup, but I doubt it because player 5 is going to be in his way. Now what's going to happen is we're going to then have player 3 popping up, and we're going to have player 2 running up, and this is going to be a dribble handoff. Player 1 is going to be the one screening on this one. Player 5 has already rolled towards the basket. That's going to allow player 2 red to pop up now. And what we're wanting is for player 2 to continue dribbling 1 to 2 dribbles. Player 5 is going to be popping out, and a few different things could happen here. What we want is for player 1 to pop up, or he could roll towards the basket. Meanwhile, player 4 here has cleared out. Now, a couple of different things. If player 1 was to pop out, he would get that pass that would then bring player 3 up, and player 5 would be open for a 3. Or if he was to roll towards the basket, he could get that ball. He would then collapse that defense. And now we would have either player 3 cutting back door, or we could have player 5 cutting back door, or we could have player 5 who is open along that corner baseline area. Or he could take a step in and get a mid-range shot. It's up to him. So there's still an option if player 1 was to pop back out. However, we do want his number one option is to roll towards the basket so he can get that pass. So that now leaves these low wing players open. But also, what we don't also never mentioned is we have player 4 possibly open at the free throw line extended on the opposite side, which is a clear pass for player 1 to get that shot off. But then that would also pull player 4 up, and player 3 would be open as well. So there's many, many, many different options in this basketball play. Now I'm going to show you a fantastic play, which is the same idea as screen the screen or horns against a 3-2 zone. So we're going to have player 2 and player 3 playing a bit in, and it's going to look very similar to a 1-2-2, but that's not going to matter all that much. We're then going to have player 3. He is going to go and set a screen for player 4 on this side. The reason why we're doing this is we're also having player 5. He's going to be screening player 3, even though player 3 is just guarding an area, and player 2 is going to be doing a high cut across. Player 2 is going to be screening right here, and the idea behind this now is for player 4 to use that screen, and we're going to have player 5, he's going to be popping up, and we're going to have player 3, he is going to be rolling towards the basket first. Player 1 is going to use that screen. Now player 1 has a few different options here. He has either player 4 possibly open or player 3 possibly open. If neither of those players are open, let's say they are covered or they just couldn't get that pass off. Let's say they're covered. Player 3 is then going to clear out, and we're going to have player 2 rolling towards the basket. Player 1 could then pass player 2 blue the ball, and he could go in for the layup. That could also collapse the defense, where now we have player 4 and 3 open for 3-point shot opportunities, or even player 3 open cutting baseline if player 5 was to pop up too far. This is when court vision for your players becomes very, very important, because if a player goes out of his position just a bit and leaves a lane open, your players need to take it. Now, because the 1-3-1 zone defense is becoming very, very popular when it comes to high school basketball, because I'm getting a lot more coaches asking for offenses against the 1-3-1, because many coaches are using that on defense. What we're going to run is one play against the 1-3-1, and that is going to be player 5 is going to go out and set a screen for player 3, and we're going to have player 2 using that screen on player 3, and player 2 is going to set a screen for player 1. At this time, what we're going to do is have player 1 using that screen. At the same time, player 5 is going to be popping off. And now what's going to happen is player 3 is going to need to recover, and a few different things can happen. So what I want to see here is player 2 rolling towards the basket, and player 4 setting a screen up for player 2. Player 1 and 3 are probably going to be double teaming in this corner, and we have 2 players open here. Depending on what's happening with the zone, once player 1 gets there, player 3 might pop down and player 4 might come across. And what we see now possibly happening is either a cut across or a cut over top with player 3. Now this is opening player 3 up for a 3-point shot. But now we are now stretching the defense so wide open that now if player 3 was to get the ball and player 5 was to then scramble to try and defend that 3-point shot, we have player 4 rolling off, and this could be an easy layup for player 4. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed today's videos, or today's plays. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another daily basketball video.